Hey, what's up guys? Matt here. Welcome to this week's episode of MATTtalks. This week on MATTtalks, I'm going to be talking about my iPhone X. So, this is my 2-month review of my iPhone X. I've got the space gray version of the iPhone X. The reason I got the black version was because I had the black iPhone 7 Plus, I had the gold iPhone 6, I had the black iPhone 5, and the white iPhone 4S. So, my whole life has really revolved around Apple. And I got a job when I was 15 years old at Chick-fil-A.
It is my pleasure to serve.
And I decided I'd get a job to get an iPhone. Because my parents wouldn't let me, or wouldn't pay for a cellular plan unless I paid for it. So I had to be a man and get a job at Chick-fil-A.
Pre-blast!
And pay for my own plan. So I got the iPhone 4S. Now, the iPhone X is a phone that was very controversial when it first came out. Everyone was freaking out about the notch. I don't care. The notch is cool. The notch doesn't really intrude on anything. I love not having to use the home button anymore. It wasn't a hassle. The home button was great. Touch ID was great. The 16:9 aspect ratio, whatever it was, of the iPhone 7 Plus and the phones before were great. It was awesome. I loved the home button. Touch ID was awesome and fast. I guess you could call me kind of an Apple sheep, and that's just someone who really doesn't care if anything goes wrong with a particular thing or person or company, and they just blindly go towards Apple. I guess you'd call me that with my MacBook, my Apple Watch, my iPad, and all other things Apple. But a lot of people didn't like the notch, and I really do. It's really cool. Face ID is spectacular. I did just get some new sunglasses, which I don't normally wear sunglasses, but for some reason I got them. And it doesn't really work. The Face ID does not work, which is fine. It's fine that it doesn't work. Interesting tidbit about the iPhone X, I've never had to put my passcode in more until I got the iPhone X. Actually, now that I say that, that's strange because Touch ID wasn't around until the 6 for me, because I didn't have the 5S. I had to put my passcode in a lot back then, but since the iPhone 6, I haven't had to put in my passcode pretty much never. I've never had to put in my passcode since Touch ID. With these iPhone X, I have put it in more times than I can count. And that's just because sometimes the Face ID doesn't really read it, and it reads it a lot, and it's like, oh, you have to swipe up to unlock, and then it won't work because it's not read your face enough, and all of this other things like that. Initially, with the iPhone X, I got it when it was iOS 11. Right now, there is all of these betas and developer betas and everything like that for iOS 12, and the initial iPhone X could only allow for one face on the iPhone X for its unlock feature, Face ID. Sandy did not like that, and I can understand why. Every time she tried to look at my phone, she would have to put in the passcode. It would freak out and be like, You're not Matt. Who are you? So she had to put in the passcode a lot. But now I have the iOS 12 beta installed on my phone so we can put two faces on there, which is cool, interesting. I think it's very interesting that the initial iPhone X on iOS 11 did not have two faces. Like, you couldn't put more than one face. You could put 10 fingers, maybe even more, on Touch ID. But with Face ID, it's only one face. But it's all right. Now we've got it kind of figured out now. The gestures are amazing. I love not having to use the home button to go home, or I love swiping back and forth. Initially, when I got the phone, I got it June 16th. Initially, when I got the phone, I didn't really understand that Control Center was in the top right corner of the screen. I kept wanting to swipe up from the bottom to get to the control center, which is normally what like an iPhone 7 Plus or 8 Plus or whichever, any phone previous to the iPhone 10, that's where that was. It was in the bottom. So you'd swipe up and you'd get your control center. If you swipe up from the bottom on the iPhone 10, you go home. So there's a little bit of learning curve. And I think everyone is going to enjoy gestures. Supposedly there are these rumors going around that the new iPhones this year that are actually going to come out in about a month are all going to be without a Touch ID or all going to be Face ID. All going to have a notch, all going to look like the iPhone 10, just different sizes and things like that. Which I'm all for. I'm so excited for this new generation of iPhones. And again, that might be my Apple sheep speaking, but I'm all for this. It's awesome. It's awesome. The camera on my iPhone 10 is spectacular. It takes gorgeous pictures. The only thing that I've noticed about this iPhone 10, as a quote-unquote photographer as I am, I've noticed when I want to take a picture of something, it is super blown out. And what that means is the whites are pure white. You can't see any definition in the white. And I've noticed that a lot with our dog. I've noticed it a lot with Penny. I have to click on the screen and drag it down to make the exposure go down. And I don't really remember having to do that very often before, but for some reason with this iPhone 10, I have to do that, which is fine. It's fine. The pictures look cool. They look dark and ominous and things like that, but it's just interesting how it's been working that way. 4K at 60 frames per second is awesome. I don't actually shoot at 4K at 60 frames per second on my iPhone 10. I shoot at, I think, 24 frames per second because I shoot at 24 frames per second on there, and I think I shoot on the GoPro at 24 frames per second. That's just because that's how I started filming on YouTube, because I heard that the cinematic aspect or cinematic frame rate is 24 frames per second, so I just use that. I may bump it up to 30 at some point, but I think 24 is good for me for now. The form factor of the iPhone 10 is definitely great for me. It was definitely a change having had the iPhone 7 Plus, a large phone, going to the 10, which was a 5.8-inch display, where the iPhone 7 Plus, I think, had a 5.8-inch. Actually, I don't remember what the iPhone 7 Plus had. Either way, the iPhone 7 Plus, huge phone, huge phone. iPhone 10, small phone. But I've gotten used to it. It's great. There's so much more screen with this iPhone 10 than there was in any other phone, so I'm okay with the size. Supposedly, as I said, the rumor is there's going to be a 10 Plus or 11 Plus, whatever they're naming it. There's going to be a Plus model of this, and it's going to be ginormous. This, I think, is a great screen size. I think it is a great screen size for what it is. My battery life is a little bit less than what I would say my iPhone 7 Plus was, but that's a different thing. There's more screen, it's OLED, and it's smaller, and the iPhone 7 Plus had a big battery, so it lasted longer, obviously. So I usually get about a day of use out of it. When I say a day, my day usually starts at 6 and ends around 11. So at 11, sometimes I hit 20%, sometimes I don't. It depends on what I do that day on my phone. I watch a lot of YouTube videos on it, and it's just something I do, and it takes a lot of the battery output. It never dies. My iPhone 10 has never died on me yet. I do need to cycle charge it at some point, so I might let it die. Cycle charging is just letting it die and then charging it back to full. That usually keeps the battery nice and relaxed and stretched out and whatever. But yeah, I love Face ID when it comes to the home screen. My notification center on the home screen is so cool now. You can have a notification pop up and it'll say notification or iMessage. You look at it and then it pops up. It is so cool. I love showing people that feature. It's freaking awesome. Animoji is so cool. You are going to love it if you get the iPhone 10 or whatever phone or thing has the new Animoji. It's awesome. You're going to love it. So I've always wanted the AirPods, and I think this generation of phone, I'm going to get really quiet here. I think this generation of phone, with this iPhone 10, I'm going to get the AirPods. I've wanted them for so long, and it's going to be awesome. I hope we are able to get them, Sandy and I. They are $160, which is a lot of money, but it's not a lot to me, but it's fine. We'll wait. Yeah, I think the AirPods are going to be a really cool addition. I've got a coworker of mine. She's got them, and she brought them in to show me the other day at work, and I was so jealous. Hey, what's up, guys? Sorry to interrupt this video. Let's take a look at my iPhone 10. So let's take a look at this Face ID. You pull your phone up. Right there is the Face ID sensor. Obviously, you can't see my face, or it can't see my face because I'm behind the camera. But let me just get in front of the phone, and then let's watch it work. So I looked over at the phone. That is the unlock feature. And now I can swipe up. So if it were a normal notification, you would have seen it on the home screen there. But as it were an older notification, this is what we see. So obviously you can see with this iOS 12 update, it's going to be awesome. Obviously right there, that's what you see. Notifications, and you can't see anything other than that. So I think that's really cool. And this is the iOS 12 beta update, as I've said. So this is what you see, just the notifications. You can open them up, but you need Face ID. Or your home button there, or your passcode. So let me unlock this, and then you'll see what we're looking at. So there you get all of your notifications. So you can click up there. This is kind of an iOS 12 overview as well. So yeah, that's right there. You can click Show Less, and you get less. Or you can click on it again, and get all of them. Very cool. I really like that. So there we have text messages. You can reply. Obviously, you can reply from here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you swiping up. Obviously, no home button, so you have a lot bigger screen here. Very cool, I think. Obviously, I've got a black and white background. That's Sandy, pictures from our wedding. I'm going to go ahead and clear these notifications here. 3D touch, you hold that button there. Okay, I'm not reaching it, apparently. You hold that button there, and then it goes away. So here you've got some complications. Widgets is what other people call them. So you have a widget there for your flashlight, obviously. It's on. Or you can go to your camera. So let's go ahead into the camera. Obviously, this is what we're looking at, the floor. Or you can look at me back here. That's cool. Let's see. Let's take a picture because I want to. I've always wanted to film a video like this. So that's what we got. So yes, that is your home screen with your widgets and your notification tray, everything like that. Up here, you can see there's a little line right there. Let's see if I can zoom in and show you. Little line, that is for Control Center. Ooh, there we go. Okay, you can see my battery's a little low, and you can't see the battery percentage. On your iPhone 7 Pluses and your 8 Pluses and things like that, you can see your battery percentage. But here, you don't get that. So let's swipe down. That's the only way you can see your battery percentage. If you do that, or if you swipe to the left, and then you get your percentages. Got another notification. Okay, so we swipe up there for the Control Center, and this is what it looks like. Mine looks like this. I really like this setup. It's really everything that I need on a daily basis. I don't usually use the screen mirroring. We have an Apple TV. That's what we use for our TV. I don't usually use that, but it's there if I need it. Screen recording I use a lot. That just shows my screen, obviously. Next, iPhone 10, I wanted to show the gestures. So to go back to an app, you just swipe over. You're in there. Swipe over. Swipe over. Swipe down, you get your spotlight. Swipe down, you get your notifications. This little light that you see here, that is the Face ID trying to track my face. I didn't think you could see that on the camera, but apparently you can. So yeah, obviously, the screen size is huge. So yeah, that is my iPhone 10. Very cool. I love it. It's awesome. Now back to the video. Overall, I think the iPhone 10 has been amazing. It's awesome. I love it. It is so cool, and I'm so excited to see where Apple goes with their next line of phones and just everything like that. What's really interesting is the iPhone X has iOS 12, the newest update, obviously, because it's the newest phone out. My Apple Watch is a Series 0, which is 2015, and it is not getting watchOS 5. I'm a little disappointed that it's not getting watchOS 5, so hopefully I'm going to be getting the iPhone, or not the iPhone, hopefully I'm going to be getting the Apple Watch, a newer Apple Watch soon. Either the 3 or the new 4 that is supposedly going to come out with these new iPhones. The battery life on my Apple Watch is not very good right now, and I want to go to the space gray version. I'm over this. I've had it for 3 years, and I'm a very spoiled little boy. But that's alright. Thanks for watching this week's episode of MATTtalks, guys. I hope you liked my review. You're going to be seeing a lot more tech stuff out of me, hopefully, with this channel here. I am very excited. What kind of phones do you use? Let's have a conversation. Leave it in the comments below, or tweet me, or Instagram me, or anything like that. Let me know, and let's have a conversation. I hope you guys have enjoyed this week's episode of MATTtalks. See you in next week's episode. Peace!